What's going on, everyone? We're here, NBA Sidelined edition. We're going to talk basketball. We're back after the load management. We're back. We feel better. We're rested. We're ready to give you 48 good minutes a night. But before we get into it, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, send a link to your friend, tell your family members, spread the word. And to help me out, I'm joined by two close friends of mine. I'm joined by Tyler. Tyler, how you doing?
Let's go. Ready.
And I'm also joined by Sam. Sam, how you doing?
Guys, it's good to be back here.
No, I feel like we're always talking hoops. Like whenever we hang out, like casually. You know what I mean? Like even like going back, dude. Like when I used to come to your house when we were younger, we would just sit on that bed in the side room and just like watch NBA highlights.
I always tell him every time this guy will pick me up and we're going to the gym or something, and I say I should just record our conversation.
Literally,
because we're talking about the league, and we could have a podcast of our own of just us riding in the car somewhere.
Literally.
So it's great that we're finally doing it here.
And I'm always watching NBA at Sam's house.
Well, who would have thought, right? We were all playing pickup hoops in our driveways.
We all played as kids.
I remember just yesterday we were in T's driveway playing 1-on-1 to 21.
Yeah. No, and look at us now. Now we're doing a podcast about it. You know? And so first segment, we'll just get right into it. The state of the league, the state of the NBA, midseason outlook. We just had the All-Star break. Games are being played again now. And there's the two big storylines that just kind of dropped today, like looking at the midway point in the season. LeBron got hurt today, or a couple days ago, but it was a report came out today. He's going to miss extended time. The Lakers had been playing better with LeBron, with everyone back, to trades they made. I'll go to Sam first. Sam, what do you think this means for the Lakers season?
Well, he is their star player. I mean, they do have 1A, 1B with Anthony Davis, but he is their focal point. Like, he is their juggernaut on offense. Like, the offense runs through LeBron. And without him, it's going to, their offensive efficiency is definitely going to plummet. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to help with the longevity, like the long-term outlook for this team.
Yeah, I think they're screwed. I mean, without LeBron, I mean Anthony Davis, he's an injury waiting to happen. T, what do you think?
Yeah, believe it or not, we got this green light on me. I am a Celtics fan, green. But I hate to say it, I do have a little faith in the Lakers. Okay. This trade, I don't know how the Jazz let them get Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and I'm forgetting somebody.
It's kind of a steal.
Malik Beasley he'll make 7 threes in a game.
He had 25 the other night.
And that can win you a game.
He literally, they won the other night because of him. He had 25.
He struggled in the Mavs game, but that's only one game,
Yeah.
And I think with LeBron out, it honestly could be a good thing because I don't see LeBron still finished the game after he said, "Oh, my ankle popped."
Yeah.
So I mean, he could easily. This is a great time for Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. He's already going to be guarding the other team's best offensive player pretty much every night, and he does a good job at it. It's going to be good for their role players to develop some confidence on offense. And, Darvin Ham said that the Lakers might get the 6th seed. I don't really see that happening.
I don't think so either.
But I could realistically see them getting to the 8th seed around there and being in the play-in. I don't think their season's over.
I kind of agree with both you guys. I think it's going to hurt them. But I don't think all hope is lost. I think we're what I'm most interested to see, Anthony Davis, because before he got hurt, he was it was oh shit, old Anthony Davis is back. And then since he's come back from the injury, he's kind of slowed down a little bit. It's literally now or never. How good are you still? You know what I mean?
I think also with him playing alongside LeBron, sometimes, especially when LeBron's been on this insane scoring streak. He's almost been kind of Cadillacing his way through the season, but now it's going to be everything. All eyes are going to be on him. If you're in LA, everyone's going to be looking at you. Everyone's talking about how the Clippers got Russ and how it's a big move. So all eyes are going to be on AD and the role players for the Lakers.
It's now or never for the Lakers. Good song by Kendrick Lamar, Now or Never, Mary J. Blige. The other big storyline in the Western Conference, or another big Western Conference story. Kyrie Irving got traded to the Mavericks a couple weeks ago. He asked out of Brooklyn. That saga's over. Him and Luka Doncic, they've now played a few games together. They blew a huge lead to the Lakers the other day, the Sunday showcase. T, I'll ask you, what is your expectation for Kyrie Irving and the Mavericks out in the West?
Well, we've seen a couple of times already. The Mavs have given up north of 130.
They can't play
They've
defense.
given up 150 points. I mean, they're not going to play defense. They somehow played defense for 3 quarters against the Lakers, but then blew it. I've heard from a lot of Mavs fans that they're saying that Maxi Kleber is going to come back and save their defense.
I don't think I wouldn't count on that.
Maxi Kleber, he's a good role player, but how much better is he than a Mike Muscala who plays about maybe 5 minutes for the Celtics every now and then? He's not a difference maker. So, I mean, the Mavs, they're going to be in the thick of the West. Mm-hmm. I do see them being in the top 6 because Kyrie and Luka are just that good. Mm-hmm. The real question just comes down to their defense. Can they stop anybody?
Sam, what do you think?
I totally agree with T. I think their offense has definitely been upgraded with having Kyrie in the backcourt. You know, Luka's not going to bring the ball up as much with Kyrie because he'll play point. Luka's more of like a 2 guard, I'd say. Yeah. Because he's a little bit like taller and whatnot. And I think he's better at, you know, finding his own shot off the ball, which opens up a lot of the offense to revolve around these two. And then in terms of the defense, like T was saying, like Kyrie and Luka, they're not really known as defenders. Mm-hmm. So that is a big question mark going forward for this team. Like, are they going to be able to just simply outscore their opponents going forward? Like, that's not really sustainable, especially come playoff time because defense wins games.
Honestly, dude, I don't think I wouldn't be shocked if they don't make it out of the first round.
I will add in, when they played the Lakers, their primary person they had on LeBron was Justin Holiday.
I mean, literally, that's
I don't know if you guys knew, but Justin Holiday was on the Hawks and he got cut.
Yeah,
so the Mavs just said, "Oh, we'll sign you," and guess what? You get to guard LeBron today.
Their best defender, they trade Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah,
they traded him. They literally, I was watching that Lakers game, dude. They play their tallest guy. Like when they go small, dude. Dwight Powell is their center. I mean, and they have no defenders. Dwight Powell's their center. The other players on the team are not very good. You get Justin Holiday playing starter minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and they started him over Josh Green, who is their best young prospect. He's shooting over 40% from 3, and they just benched him all of a sudden. I mean, I don't see why you would do that, especially since he was building confidence in the starting lineup.
I'm not a believer in Dallas. They have 2 of the top 20 players, 2 Hall of Famers. You know, Luka's on his way. Kyrie's probably a Hall of Famer by now. But they have no one else, no defense. I'm personally not a believer in them, but I guess we'll see what happens because Kyrie's a free agent at the end of this year. So if they want him back, you know, they probably have to do something in the playoffs. Next, we got this is really the biggest storyline. This one had everyone talking when I went into work. Everyone, even like non-basketball people, like heard about this. Kevin Durant, the Durantula, the Slim Reaper. He's on another team. You know, a lot of people don't like him. You know, some people call him a snake, me included. Some people call him a weasel. Say he is, you know, he the way he moves, the way he operates, it upsets a lot of people. You can't deny his talent, though. The guy's one of the best players ever. And he already went to a Suns team that had made the finals 2 years ago. I'll go to Sam first. Sam, just initial thoughts. What do you think this means for the West and KD?
I mean, it's definitely an upgrade for the Suns at the small forward position because Mikal Bridges, he was more defensive oriented.
He can score too. I like Mikal Bridges.
He can score. He's like a 2-way guard,
but he's no KD.
He's not KD level scorer. You know, like that Hall of Fame, just dead eye shooter. You know, consistent, can put up 30 in like an instant. Yeah. So it's definitely an upgrade in that aspect. But defensively, you know, he's kind of a liability. And as we've seen so far, he has not suited up yet for the Suns.
You don't like KD on D?
Not really.
Okay,
no.
I think he's capable.
I think he's been pretty good when he played this season.
I wouldn't call him locked down, but I think he's long. He can contest shots. You know,
I feel like he tends to put more energy to the offensive side of the ball, so that's why you know if he really wanted to, I think he could lock down because look at his frame.
Yeah,
like nobody's getting by him.
Well, luckily for him, the Phoenix has. Surprisingly, Josh Okogie and Torrey Craig have been really good wing defenders.
Okogie's a very good defender.
Yeah.
And theoretically, Ayton should be a good defender.
Now, how does this look for Devin Booker going forward? Because I know Devin Booker likes to have the ball in his hands a lot.
I think it's actually good for Booker because every team's best defender had been on Booker. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to be on KD. So now Booker's going to get that second matchup. So, like, he may get less shots, but he may be getting better looks and, you know what I mean, weaker defenders on him. What do you think, T?
I definitely think they're going to lead the league in mid-range field goals.
Yeah, definitely.
I think at some point it's going to come to a point because along with Booker and KD shooting mid-range, we also have Ayton and CP3 who like shooting mid-ranges. So I think, honestly, there's too many of them. Someone's going to have to move either into the paint or out of the paint. I really like Phoenix. I think they're really complete. The one thing that scares me is Ayton on defense. If let's say he
should be a good defender.
Let's say they move on to the second round and they play Denver.
Big question.
I don't know if I can trust Ayton to guard Jokic. Yeah, and then they got Biyombo on the bench. I mean, Biyombo's a good lob and rebound center, but can he guard Jokic? I don't see that.
I'm kind of the same way as UT. Like on paper, they should be the favorite to come out of the West. But we haven't seen. You mentioned Durant gets hurt like all the time now.
Very injury-prone
and we need to see how it looks. You know what I mean? Because we all thought when Brooklyn got Harden, we said, "Oh, close down the league. This is Warriors 2.0," and it just didn't work out.
Right.
So we need to. They get 20 games before the playoffs to figure it out. Who knows who they're going to play first round? Like the standings could shift a lot. It's really close in the West. But I think this is the most intriguing thing until the playoffs. How it's going to look with KD.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And another West, a lot of moves in the West. Things are moved around in the Western Conference. Russell Westbrook, former MVP, missed a triple-double, traded to the Jazz, agreed to a buyout. Paul George recruited him to the Clippers. At this point in his career, he's not what he was. Obviously, he's been getting a lot of hate the past couple years, which I don't like because I think he plays really hard, and everyone has known what his game's been. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not a surprise Westbrook's not a shooter. I'll go to T first. What do you think he adds, if anything, to a Clippers team that should be contending?
I think he can add something. I definitely think he has a spot in the league. A lot of people are thinking that he's on his way out, and this might be his last season. I mean, along with being in the spotlight in LA, like the team just wasn't built around him, you know? I mean, there wasn't a lot of shooting, and of course now they have shooting. Now that he's gone, so of course the Lakers are
got Eric
better.
Gordon, your boy.
Yeah, Eric Gordon. Oh my God,
blocked down.
All those years in Houston, man.
I know, wasted.
But seriously, I think now that we saw in his first game, he had 14 assists. I know he had 7 turnovers too, but he also played 2 overtimes. So
yeah, that's kind of the Westbrook story. Like he'll turn it over, but he'll also have a ton of assists. Sam, what do you think?
So Westbrook's play style, he's more of like a facilitator and kind of playmaking as well. Mm-hmm. So he likes to dish the ball. Like you said, he had 14 assists the other night in his debut, which that game was very entertaining to watch.
That was an awesome game.
One of the best games I've seen this season.
What, he had 47 off the bench?
Yeah, literally, like Malik Monk had 47.
But no, I think this adds something the Clippers haven't seen since CP3 was suiting up for them.
Oh, wow.
They haven't really had that playmaking guard.
Not a Reggie Jackson guy?
I don't think Reggie Jackson has the same qualities.
I think his tempo is huge for them too.
I agree
because
he can push it.
I mean, PG and Kawhi are their 2 stars, and they love load managing, so they like to just face up on people in mid range. You know, they don't really like to push the tempo or anything. Yeah. So
I think this is another like intriguing, like see how it looks. Because in theory, the Clippers, I mean, you have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George,
2 of the best wings.
You know what I mean? They traded for Eric Gordon. They got Zubac.
Terrence Mann.
They should be right there, like West Finals, like with the fucking Nuggets, with the Suns.
Easily.
And I like what you said. Westbrook can push the tempo, run in fast break. And you don't need him to be like OKC Westbrook. You just need him to, be like a 3rd, 4th, 5th player,
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have to be like the focal point of this team because they have the 2 stars already. Yeah. And then I also like the addition of Bones Highland that they picked up at the deadline. He's another kind of guard that can like push it if they need to, but also dish it out to the shooters and whatnot. So I think if they utilize these 2 hand in hand, I think the Clippers could go pretty far ways.
I think that's a great point.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, next. That's pretty much it for around the league. Those are the main trades, the main storylines people are talking about. We're Celtics fans. We bleed green. We get the green light on T. Great Gatsby. They had the green light. Remember that movie, Sam? We watched that in high school.
Of course, in the distance.
Leo, yeah, it's good stuff. Movie mob, watch it Friday nights. The Celtics. They lost last night to the Knicks, but I mean, I'm not worried about the Knicks. They had a big game versus Philadelphia this weekend. Amazing game, one of the best of the season. Went down to the very end. Tatum hit a step back 3, gave him the lead. Then Embiid had a almost full court shot, yucked it up there, one arm. But it was the buzzer already went off, didn't count. Celtics stay beating Philly. I'll ask you guys, at this point in the season, I'll start with Sam. What is your expectation for the Celtics?
Title or nothing. I mean, they have the most depth in the league, as we've seen. They have about 10 to 12 guys that they can put in the lineup and generate, not necessarily like scoring, but they can bring other stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
Sure.
Like, for instance, they got a guy like Luke Cornett. Have you seen his defensive strategy? Jumping up.
Shut up, Plose.
Blocking out the rim as guys are going up for their three-point shots.
He's a weird guy. He's weird.
I mean, they got a couple of characters like Sam Hauser too.
They got the Batman.
Lighting it up from
three.
Batman's
on the Celtics.
They got Batman. They got Malcolm Brogdon, who I think was
awesome.
their best pickup by far. Mm-hmm. Very excited for him. Good two-way kind of guy.
2 ways.
And the sky's the limit for this team. I mean, Tatum and Brown at the helm, 1-2 punch. I mean, they're arguably one of the best young cores in the league.
Are they even young at this point? You know what I mean? I feel like it's their prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to enter their real prime.
Yeah, because like literally, I was looking at I was at work, I was bored, obviously, so I was looking. They had like a top 10 list, like Bleacher Report or something, like young cores in the NBA. The Celtics weren't even on there because like Tatum and Brown were like
stupid list.
Yeah, but no, I think it's because like they're older now. I think that's why. But T, I'll ask you, what is your expectation for the Green?
Same as him, I mean, they acquired Mike Muscala at the deadline, and I think he played in the first game, and he hasn't even played since then. They went back to Cornet. I mean,
yeah, he can shoot a little bit.
He
Muscala,
can shoot. They're so deep. I mean, Pritchard doesn't even play. He's on the picture here. I mean, he doesn't need to because we have Derek White, we have Smart back, and we got Brogdon.
I agree with both. If they don't win the championship this year, I'm sorry, it's a fucking disappointment. Last year, I think they should have beat Golden State. I think they were the better team. They lost inexperienced. Tatum didn't show up. If they don't win this year, I mean, you have to win this year. I think they should beat anyone in the West. The Bucks scare me a little bit, but watching Middleton this year, I don't know if he's what he was maybe 3-4 years ago. They have to win this year. Tatum's top 5 maybe player in the league. He's right there. Jalen's averaging 27 a game. Brogdon and Derek White have both been playing some of the best basketball of their career. If they don't win, I'm sorry. It's a disappointment, barring injuries.
I will say, going along with the injuries, our one injury concern, which is Time Lord,
and that's huge because
he always somehow hurts his knee.
Yeah.
Especially coming towards April and playoff time. Yeah. And then he's in and out of every game, or he just can't play.
No, Time Lord's knee's a time bomb.
Yeah,
and he sucked it up for last postseason. But like you're going to be going against Embiid, Giannis, and if you get to the finals,
Brook Lopez.
And if you get to the finals,
Joker.
Probably Jokic. 8. Like you're going to need Time Lord because I love Al Horford, but at this point in his career, he can't be logging those heavy minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he can give you splashes. You know what I mean? Like little runs and shit.
We can't have him playing over 30 minutes in a playoff.
He's more of that stretch 4 kind of deal. Can play the 5 if need be, but Williams is definitely the 5 for this team.
That's my one concern about the Celtics. Is if Time Lord has the knee injuries again in the playoffs, you go to Grant Williams, you go to Horford, but is that going to cost them? Because they're both good defenders, but they're not athletic. They don't play like Rob Williams. Rob Williams kind of plays like he's like on fire, like he's on crack, but like in the best way though. He's great. He looks like Chief Keef, too.
He brings the energy. That's what this team needs.
He does bring the energy. All right. Off Time Lord. Just quickly, Derek White. I saw a stat last night. Derek White, in 15 straight games, he has 10-plus points. I've been, especially when Smart was out, Jalen missed some time. This guy's been playing. Last year, I liked him a lot. I liked the energy he brought. But he had, shooting woes.
Yeah, I think he lost his confidence in the playoffs.
I agree. I think 100%. The way he looks right now, if he's giving you what he is right now in the playoffs, plus Brogdon, I mean, that's a fucking steal. I mean, what do you think?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Even if, let's say, Smart isn't going to be the same over the next couple of weeks, then we're okay, because we have him and Brogdon. And, I mean, he's fresh off a Player of the Week. It's not even 10 points. Sometimes he'll give us, 25, 5, and 5 out of one night.
Yeah, like if some guy's out of the lineup, like that's the thing. He can give you 25, or if everyone's in, he can take like a secondary role and kind of like be that defender, be that kind of pesky, or the playmaker.
Yeah, this season I think his new thing that he's learned is being able to create his own shot, whereas last year he was more of a spot up guy and didn't have the confidence, and now he's more of a offensive player.
I think the confidence is huge. I agree 1,000%. He when he took a shot last year in the playoffs, it didn't seem like even he thought it was going to go in. Sam, what are your thoughts on White?
I think White has definitely benefited from Mazzulla's system. That's put in place. Like you guys were saying, like White last year under Udoka was more of like a spot-up kind of guy and didn't really get as many minutes as he has this year. Like because there's been more injuries this year. He's seen more playing time, and he's definitely benefited from that. Like you said, 15 straight games with 10-plus points. I mean, the sky's the limit for this kid. I've always liked him ever since he came to the league.
Guy. You like the way they move the basketball down there.
He went to San Antonio, Greg Popovich, legendary coach down there. But I think the thing was last year he just needed to get accustomed to like a bigger market.
Okay.
Because there's more eyes, more attention on him here.
Okay.
But now that he's had like a full year plus under his belt of being in Boston and like knows the culture, I think he's just gonna ball out like he has been.
No, he's another guy. We were talking about it earlier, like just like the depth for the Celtics, and it's gonna be huge come playoff time.
We need the energy, and he's one of those guys.
1,000%. All right, that's it for our Bleed Green segment. We're done bleeding green. Put away the cuts. League watch. Who's hot? Who's cold? Giannis and the Bucks are flaming hot. They're in a. Oh, that's nice. Shout out Nick. It makes it all happen. We love him. Subscribe. Giannis and the Bucks, 14-game win streak. They are playing better than anyone in the NBA. Drew Holiday is playing maybe the best basketball of his career. Brook Lopez, Giannis is, so everyone's talking about Jokic and B, Tatum. Giannis, don't forget about me. He's been in and out of lineup a little bit, but not serious injuries. So for this segment, I kind of like the idea we have. You think the hotness, like, is it for real or is it fake? I'll ask Sam first. The Bucks hot streak, is it for real or is this a mirage?
I think it's for real.
Okay.
I mean, there's a reason why the past couple of years this team has always been at the top of the East. It's led by that man right there.
Greek.
Who has transformed into one of the best talents that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, Giannis is Greek.
I mean, think about it. He went from the guy in 2K that was like a 50 overall.
Yeah.
A potential if you sent him off to the training camp.
A+ potential.
Turns into like a superstar, like, 90, 95 overall if like you took him to those camps.
I feel like that's...
And now, look at him. He is literally like a 99 overall cheat code, can get down the court in literally like 2 dribbles.
That's kind of like you. Like when you came in here, you were a raw prospect, but we saw a lot of potential. Now we fast forward. Now you're the face of the channel, You're the Giannis of Sidelined.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, all right. Well, T, do you think the Bucks are for real? You buying in?
They're definitely for real. I mean, I think a lot. They're guards, just like the Celtics.
Holiday's good. Dude.
Holiday's really good, and Javon Carter. I mean, he's solid. He's a small guard, but he's kind of like who's that guy? Who's that guy in New Orleans? Alvarado.
He
kind of reminds me of him. He's a good shooter and he's a pest. He can get under people's skin. He's kind of got that little Pat Bev going for him. And Brook Lopez, I think he's my favorite for defensive player.
I was going to say, you always talk about Lopez. I feel like you're a big Lopez guy.
I mean, oh my God, Nets Brook Lopez. When they traded for KG Pierce, and, he was the only good piece for him.
I think he's their all-time leading scorer.
Really?
Like for the Nets,
I'm not surprised. He looked like Shaq sometimes for them. It was insane.
I know what you're going to say about Brook Lopez. Yeah, make fun of RJ. Go ahead.
Never forget.
Yeah, make fun
several
of RJ.
years ago.
Camera, make fun of RJ.
Yeah, never forget. Several years ago, we made a prediction show of upcoming MVP voting, and I forget what year this was.
This was the year they drafted Tatum.
This was
2017.
2017. Oh, wow. RJ said on camera that Brook Lopez was going to be in the top 5 MVP race.
And you never let it go. Literally, like Sam will mention it to RJ.
I bring it up every time that memory pops up on Snapchat. So RJ, just wanted to make sure you didn't forget about it.
All right. No, I agree with you guys. I think the Bucks are for real. I think they are the only legitimate threat to the Celtics.
Yes.
In the East, or should be.
Yeah. Yeah, because Philly's frauds.
All right, now the negative. This is where I thrive. I like this a little better. Who's cold? Ben Simmons and the Brooklyn Nets are as cold as ice, Sam. This man, I'm sorry, maybe the most mentally weak sports athlete of all time, and I don't think that's an overstatement. It might be true. I mean, this guy went number 1 overall pick, all-star, all-NBA, all-defense. He fucking sucks. He's awful. T, I'll ask you first. Do you think this will continue, or is this a mirage as well?
I don't know. I don't really know if I like Ben as a person outside of basketball. Anyways,
with the Jenners, who he's the cadet. He's fucking around.
He's around all that bullshit.
How about you get in the gym? You work on your jump shot.
But seriously, it might be time to start talking about him as one of the worst contracts in the league.
I agree
because. They're stuck with him now, and they can't get, at least with John Wall. I mean, he's done after the his contract's over after this season.
Yeah, they traded James Harden for Ben Simmons,
and the day you make the trade, you're like, oh, this might work out for us. Now looking at it now, you're punching holes in the wall.
James Harden is averaging 21 and 11 for a title contending team. Ben Simmons is averaging a triple single.
And is averaging DNPs the last.
He's doing what he said.
Thomas took all of his minutes.
Ben Simmons could be next to us right now. Sam, what do you think about Simmons and the Nets?
Well, I'll say this: Mason Plumlee is putting up better numbers than him.
Wow,
Mason Plumlee.
Out of all players in the league, Mason Plumlee.
No disrespect to Plumlee,
but no, Ben Simmons. I mean, I would start bringing into discussion about how much of a bust he is.
I mean, you talk about what happened. What a fall from fucking grace.
They were saying, so I saw a video that this guy put out there. He said, so you remember when the Sixers were playing the Wizards in the playoffs?
Sure.
So I guess when Simmons was at the free throw line, Bradley Beal made a wager saying, I'll bet you $10,000 you're going to miss that free throw. Story. And he bricked both of them, and it just ruined his shooting.
I mean, he's just mentally weak. He literally he didn't take the layup versus the Hawks. He sat out an entire season, forced his way out of Philly. Like, he could have played, I feel like, last year, and now he sucks and blows. It
seems like, honestly, the things you guys just talked about, he's going to lay down to bed, and he's thinking about that before he falls asleep. He just can't get it out of his head.
He's mentally weak. I mean, dude, you're fucking 6'9" and can dunk on everyone. Drive to the fucking basket.
People were comparing you to LeBron when you got drafted.
I mean, stop going out with Kendall Jenner, put down the cell phone, and get in the gym, work. What do you think Kobe would do? Kobe be in the gym
Kobe
working.
Be shaking his head at him.
Yeah, Kobe wouldn't like it. And I don't like it either.
Yeah, Kobe can shoot better with both hands than he could
ever.
Yeah,
right, yeah. We don't like Ben Simmons. All right, enough Ben Simmons talk. Closing time. Now, this may go a couple different ways depending what we want to do each week. This week we have a fan question. Big fan of the program. Question from Ryan Gillen. Let's see what Ryan has to say. Let's see what Ryan's question has.
Hey guys, Gillen here. How we doing? Huge fan of the show. My question to you is, do you think we will see a fatigued Jason Tatum in the playoffs again this year? And if so, do you think we have the depth this year to get by that and get banner 18 here? Thanks, guys.
Wow, what a question. Not only was it a good question by this fan, he looks great too. Nice fresh haircut in the snow, still submitting the question. That's what we like to see.
Cold therapy, I love it.
It's good. It's good for recovery. Good for recovery. I'll go to T. Do you think? Just his question. What do you think?
I mean, it does. He does make a good point. These last two games, Tatum has not shot the ball well.
What do you have, 14 points before he got ejected last night?
Yeah, before he got ejected. And, he did hit the shot against Philly. And I will say, I was at Village Tavern the night of that game.
Shout out.
So it was very funny. As soon as Embiid hit the shot, all you hear is, what the? Everyone is screaming, and then nobody knew because they were all hammered. They had no idea that he actually didn't make it.
RJ was crying. Like, he called me. He was in tears when Embiid hit the shot. He couldn't. No, he didn't do that. But he could have, though. Maybe
to answer his question, he really makes a good point. I think it depends on their matchup because he has all the potential. He has all the Kobe tattoos. He wears the arm sleeves. He has the mentality.
I agree.
I think he needs to show it,
He wants to be Kobe. He's got his profile pictures like him and Kobe with the ball. Kobe wins the chip. Kobe beats those Warriors. Sam, what do you think about Gillen's question?
I think it's a great question. So I think it all depends on how they handle him towards the end of the season. So like the last couple games, are they going to rest him? Like, play their bench guys?
Because Missoula's been riding him a lot of minutes, and they've been playing him in blowouts, and that's been a point of conversation.
So I'm saying if they take that route and kind of rest him before their matchup in the playoffs, I think he's going to be totally fine because, he's definitely going to play the entire game in the playoffs, like maybe only take a couple minutes rest when needed. But I think, going forward, if he stays healthy, Brown stays healthy, and they have a healthy Time Lord, the sky's the limit for this team.
I agree. I think it is a concern. But I think the big thing is I feel like last year, that Miami series took a lot out of him. It was a 7-game grind series.
Yeah, that was a huge series.
And I feel like they kind of fucked around. Like that series, I don't think should have gone to 7.
No.
I think this year, if they kind of take care of their business when they should, and maybe down the stretch here, like in some of these like blowouts, like, sit out Tatum. I don't think it's about missing games as more it is about like playing him less minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think if we look back to the 2021 finals, we saw Middleton actually close out a couple games for them instead of Giannis, So it's almost maybe Tatum needs to give that ball up, because he always, him, he always wants to do his sidestep, fadeaway
That's
three.
It pisses me off so much.
Maybe you just make the extra pass, I mean, they have been doing a lot more extra passing, I've noticed in their games. So maybe it's just you need to rely on your second star too. I mean, people call them a duo. I mean, some people will say Tatum's the one, Brown's the two.
Brown had a better finals.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you need to rely on your other star to help get you through.
I was going to say, Gillen, literally that was in his question. Do you think we have the depth to overcome it? I think more than any other team.
Yeah, we are. I think we are the deepest team in the league.
I agree. All right, guys. That's all we got. Thank you to Sam and T. That's going to close out the first episode, NBA Sideline. Before we say goodbye, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, post it on your Twitter, post it on your Instagram story. Tell the parents, tell the siblings, spread the word, spread the good word of NBA Sideline. We'll be back next week. We'll be talking all the latest storylines, all the biggest developments. We'll be bleeding green. You cut us open and green's gonna ooze out.
Yeah, maybe I'll try and upgrade my outfit a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we'll
get
bring some
basketball
green.
Stuff.
It's March. March is coming up. The month of green. It's our month.
St. Patrick's Day.
So we'll buy Shamrock shakes for every
awesome.
Every
I haven't
viewer
had one
that
yet.
likes, subscribes, leaves a comment, and sends it to 100 people. Have a good day. We'll see you next week.